Hey, hey, what's happening? Just want to welcome everybody to this morning broadcast live. Hope y'all come on in and join me so I can share a piece of my mind. How everybody doing out there? Okay, okay. Well, this morning, what's up, y'all? How you doing? Y'all come on through, man. We're gonna wait till a few more people come on up and see what I'm talking about. See what old Sip talking about. See, this is one of the things, man. It's been almost 3 months since I've been home. And one of the things, hey nephew, what's up? You okay? It's almost 3 months since I've been home, and I just want to talk about, some of the guys and some of the people I left behind, both men and women. I don't think anybody think about when we think about this coronavirus and how everybody is panicking or going through whatever they're going through with family and friends and stuff, not wanting to quarantine themselves or just practice social distancing. One thing I learned that in prison, prisoners can't practice social distancing because they're all in the same unit and they're all, you can lock them down to a unit, but the same person, if one person is affected, they all go to the same restaurant, which is the chow hall. They all go to the same store. All their clothes get washed in the same at the same laundromat. So they're forced to interact and deal with each other. And here's the thing, man. One thing I learned, man, since being home, that one day of freedom here is better than 100 on the inside. People complain about how bad they got it, how bad they have it now. Hey, how y'all doing? What's up, Jose? You all right? People complain about what they're going through now, but you have no idea, man, what people who are incarcerated are going through right now. And like my heart is heavy today because a good friend of mine, Marcus Boyd, G Black, from Memphis. How you doing, Sher? From Memphis, today is his birthday. In prison, birthdays are a big thing. On the outside, too, but especially in prison, because that's when dudes that you mess with get together and they cook spreads for you and stuff like that. And we just sit around and that's the day that we don't talk about being in prison. We just enjoy it. What's up, Jody? Just going through some of the things, man, how life is on the inside, how people can only imagine, what the people in Yazoo and Forest City and Beaumont are going through right now. What's up, big brother? You all right? But, people complain about not having this and not having that. It might be a time now where they're on lockdown that something might be going on that they don't feed them for the whole day. And so we're complaining here, and I know it's tough. I'm not minimizing the situation what people are going through on the outside, but I want everybody to think about what our loved ones are going through. People like Bam, nicely, what they're going through right now, being on lockdown. They're on a mandatory quarantine where they can't get visits. They give them an extra 200 minutes a month, but they let them out for an hour or two a day just to, how you doing, nicely? Just to make phone calls. So you got 160 dudes with 4 phones in a unit trying to call their family in a 2-hour period. Or use a computer. So sometimes you have to make a choice. Some days you come out, you use a computer. Some days you come out and you use the phone, whichever first. In addition to trying to get your laundry changed or anything, because they don't have washing and dryers in most prisons, unless you're at a camp. But still, they're on mandatory quarantine. So we sit around and we complain about what we're going through day to day here. Man, I'll take any of these bad days here on the outside for any of those on the inside. It's not the same. It's totally different. In the post I made this morning, man, these are some of the people that I knew and ran across. And I was introduced to 2 women, Michelle West and Evelyn Bozen. These are just some of the people, man, who I've been advocating for since I've been home. That's one of the things that I want to do. I want to continue to advocate for those people that I left behind. Not because not because I'm special or they're special, but because mass incarceration is everybody. It's everybody's problem. You know what I'm saying? And so the thing I'm asking you, man, today is, man, don't hit the like button on the post I made today, man. Share it. We got to tell everybody, man. We got people in parchment right now. I'm talking about federal inmates too, mostly because I spent 23 years in federal prison. You know, and so since I've been home, man, it's been like a fast lane. So I had to jump out of a slow lane on the outside and jump into a fast lane and try to learn what's up, Mike? And with everything that's going around, and still have time for my family, man. And so it's a day-to-day struggle just to make time for those people you love. And then, you know, a lot of people get out, man, they forget about the people they left behind. So that's, you know, that's one of the things. Just like right now, a friend of mine is saying that right now they got 30 days visit, and they're going to revisit that. What's up? What's up, zoology? Cheetah, how you doing? Yeah, I love you too, bro. What's up, Mike? And that's one of the things, man. You brothers, man, that when we've gotten out, you Cheetah and you Suge, man, I need y'all to step up, man, and advocate for some of these dudes we left behind. You know what I'm saying? We can't leave them behind, man. We can't leave them behind and not say nothing and let the people continue to treat them the way that they do, man. I spent 15 months in the SHU, 23-1. You know, yeah. And so that's one of the things that it's mental torture. So I can only imagine what the families of people who have people incarcerated are saying right now. You know, how they're worried about their family. They can't go see them. They can't talk to them. They probably, hey, Christy, how you doing? What's up, Robert? You know, hey, sis. They can't, you know, they can't hear from their family. So please, man, I'm asking you to just hit the share button. Don't hit the like button or the love button. Today, man, social media is powerful. I learned that in dealing with the violence situation. These are all my friends who are tuning in. If you shared the violence information with the store and everything, so, you know, people want to take advantage of us. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. Today I want to stay on concentrating on mass incarceration because I haven't been out that long. You figure if this same virus had, and this is the reality of it, had happened 2 weeks before I got out, they had to write not to let me go. They don't tell you that until I either got tested, until I was quarantined. Even if I had got immediate release on the 10th and the virus had happened a week before, they would have had the right to keep me in there until they were satisfied that I didn't have the coronavirus or, you know, I hadn't became infected or nobody there. So it's still, hey, how you doing, Martha? So I want y'all to share it. Share it to as many people and ask your friends to share it because it's a serious problem, man. You got Charles Scott. You got Eric Gasson. These are people, man, who've been in over, like Miss Evelyn Bozen. She's been in over 22 years, man. And just reading her story is just tearful. The only thing she's doing is asking to go back to Colombia. You know? And so here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Mass incarceration is a worldwide problem. Even though I'm dealing with the little things that are going on in Mount Bayou, man, you guys have no idea. You know, people walk around in this small town and they're clueless to what's going on in the world or how people are treating the people that we love who are in prison because everybody's only focused on their family's mode of incarceration. Nobody cares about incarceration past their family member. And we got to stop that because if you look at it, you think about this, how many of your partners or brothers or family members that you have incarcerated, think about their friends. See, once they go inside, they have a new family. And if he's going to survive in prison for as long as I did, then he has to sever ties with the outside world just so he can survive inside. So that's one of the things. That's one of the things that we have to do, man. We have to do. And as we're going through this, man, we got to think about, man, stop and help somebody. You know, there are elderly people who can't get out, man. If you're somewhere that you're able to help somebody, man, run by there and ask them if they need something. You know, if you need to go to, and then I know I see a lot of people posting about how they wish that their kids were in school. Man, you know how many days I wish that I had a chance to spend with my son. Man, I got Nell, I got my little nephews, I got two nephews that's in the state of Texas, so I know my sister's going crazy, man. You got Nell and Maine, so And I know she's probably going to start crying because I'm missing their names, because I miss them too, man. I get up every morning, I pray for them. Yeah. What's up, JP? Yeah, that's my little brother, man. He been keeping me on my feet. You know, I've been blessed, man, to have people that I didn't know the impact that I made on people until I came back home after being gone for so long. You know, and that's one of the things, man. So I live and I work every day before I went to prison, you know, to be a man of character. And that's one of the things that I try to do my whole entire bid. Anybody that ran across me in my bid, man, from Rufus Rochelle to G Black or E, you know, can tell you, man, that I was a man of character and integrity. And so that's one of the things that I want to promote, man. I'm not doing this for any attention. I don't care if you share this video, but I want you to share that post, because we got people like Eric Gasson, Michelle West, Rufus Rochelle, and different people. That's just to name a few. These are just some of the people that I know. James Hicks, who were wrongly convicted, and they should have been home like me, man. They didn't make it retroactive. I should have came home actually in 2008. First of all, I shouldn't have went to prison, to federal prison anyway. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I should have been out at least in March 2008 when they first passed the crack law. But because we have such a deep-seated hatred in Mississippi, the people refuse to even look at my motions. So my same motions are still pending. This is not something that I'm making up. You can go on and get your docket sheet. You can look at get on Pacer and look at my case number, man, and look it up and see 397CR006. So I'm not complaining or anything, because I thank God for freeing me. First of all, I should have never went to prison because of crooked cops. You know, and the second thing is, man, we gotta fight for those people. Hey, Enrico, man, please have all your friends to share that post, because the social media is powerful. You know, I figure if Kim Kardashian can go and advocate on one person, we as a team can advocate for those. And here's the thing. See, people only want to advocate for their people. When you advocate for all the people, God will bless you to free your people. See, when my family started advocating with me on the inside, you know, and I always had them to advocate for other people. So thus, the God's manifestation of my freedom came through other people. You know what I mean? And so that's what we have to do. Even though we're advocating for our own people, we have to be mindful that the same person that he talks to every day inside of prison is in need of help too. I'm not saying all prisons need to be free. There's some people that are in prison that deserve to be in prison, state, federal, and whatever. There are a lot of people on the outside that should have their black ass in prison too. You know, man, you know what I mean? So when you think about that, you think about that, man. You talking about a first time offender in Rufus Rochelle. He was in prison 7.5 years when I got there, and he's still in prison. His clemency is still pending from the Obama administration, and the man hasn't had an incident report in 31 years. 31 years. Has taken every class, mentor young men when they come in, and then you telling me that Rufus Rochelle deserves to be in prison. You got G Black, Marcus Boyd, been in prison. Watch him come in 1998, right here from Tunica, Mississippi. He got a life sentence, man. And see, the thing about it, the feds, when you got an alphabet, as we call it, when he got an alphabet instead of a number, that means he's never coming home. Never. You know what I mean? And they're telling him that he can't get the first step because they enhanced him with a murder that he was found not guilty of in the state. So the feds came back because he lost state. Because he won in the state and enhanced him with the murder that he got found not guilty of, and gave him a license. And so today is his birthday. So every time I think about him and everything that he's going through, I don't look at the date. When you go on the computer, BOP.gov, and look up his name, then he has a life behind it. There's no date. That means that he's not going to come home. And the feds don't even have to give them his body. What's up, Brand? From overseas, man. Thank you. I got to get with you, Brand, on some of the things I want to do for the kids here in Mississippi. I want to get with Kinez parents and some of the coaches and stuff so we can do something in Mississippi, man, for Maurice Jr., for Scoop. I want to keep his legacy alive, man. Thank you for reaching out to me, too. But, yeah, man, it's I don't want to hold y'all too long, man. I have a lot to say. If y'all have any questions, man, type them in the comments. But please, by all means. The post I just made about free to different people, man, because they're going through the same thing, this pandemic. And once a pandemic hit prison, you got officers coming in day in and day out. They're not getting tested. They're going to the club, and they're coming back inside of the prison, and then they're putting our loved ones at risk. You know what I mean? No matter how clean, they're not going to give them the right chemicals to clean up. So they're being put at risk, man. These are some of the same people, man. And you wouldn't believe how many people in prison die from disease and infectious disease, that they don't even tell you about, especially in the feds. It's just lucky. The only way the Mississippi problem got discovered was that inmates had cell phones. And if they didn't, people would still be dying over there. People would still be in Camp 29. So sometimes it takes an extra act of courage in order for them to get their story out. So me knowing what happened inside is my attempt to get their story out. So I like to, man, any talk show, any TV show, I'd like to share my story, thus bringing light to their, like the 924C. Here's a law that the government says is wrong, but they won't make it retroactive to help those guys who have been incarcerated since the 90s, like James Hicks, like Eric Gasson. And when all it is a stroke of a pen, man. Just a stroke of a pen. You know what I'm saying? And so the thing is, man, I'm just asking all y'all to, when you pray for yourselves, include those who are incarcerated. Because I was just incarcerated, like I say, less than 3 months ago. And, it's been a struggle, but I can't complain, man. Because like I say, any bad day out here is 10 times better than any good day on the inside. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got right now, one seal got at Butner. You think about this. Butner has 21, just one of theirs. They got 2 institutes, 2 mediums at Butner. Not even count. Imagine this. I want you to think about 6 degrees of separation. You got Butner. One CO just tested positive. They haven't put that on the news. A CO just tested positive for the coronavirus. So let's just say if he worked one unit and passed it on to 160 guys. These 160 guys went to the chow hall, and another 160 came in because they feed you one unit at a time. And he goes in and get infected. Now you got 2,300 inmates with the possibility of getting infected. And if that officer worked the whole complex, both institutions, then he just infected 4,600 people. You know what I'm saying? And so they're not telling you that officers are coming back and forth. Just like in Tallahassee, 2 officers went in and was infected with the coronavirus. So you're talking about all those people down there with Miss Evelyn Bozen Papa is. They're getting sick. Inmates are getting sick, but they're not telling us. What's up, Mr. Douglas? Man, thank you for all your assistance and guidance. Stephen, all y'all. If I don't mention your name, man, it's not. What's up, Mr. Bobo, Barbara Mackey? But anyway, man, like all my friends and stuff that I reach out to inside, man, we got to go back and say something, man. We got to say something about our people that are inside, man, because officers are going back and forth inside. Yeah, they need their job, but still, they don't have. They should test all the officers before them going back into, and before they go back in and out of those prisons, because either they're bringing new prisoners in that has the coronavirus, or officers are going in and taking into inside to our loved ones, and they have nowhere protecting themselves. So what are you going to do? The officer tell you to back up to the door and cuff up. He has coronavirus. You can't tell them no, because then they're going to send a SWAT team inside to inflict harm upon you and drag you out one way or another. These are not tales from the crypt. These are tales from right over there in Parchment, man. These are tales from right down in Yazoo, right in Forest City. Right here in Mississippi, man. These are true stories, man. And people don't understand it. Man, we're clueless as to what goes on inside a prison, past the person that we love. You know what I mean? So the only thing I want you to do, yeah, love you too, George. What's up, man? Hey, how you doing, Crystal? Yeah, so the only thing I'm asking you to do today, man, is to share that post, man, so we can help these people who are incarcerated, and let them tell their story. That's just one of the things, man. I don't want to ramble on and on. I was hoping somebody had some questions. So this is why, man, we have to get them home, Enrico. I agree. You know what I mean? Because once that virus hit in Mississippi, see, it's different in the state. The feds, you got your transfer centers like Oklahoma, Atlanta, and California, and Arizona. These where they bring all the prisoners from all over the world. They go through that. They haven't stopped transporting. What's up, Patrick? Black liberation at its finest, man. Black liberation at its finest. I appreciate you too, brother, man. I want you to know that, Patrick. But anyway, like I was saying, Enrico, the thing is, these prisoners, they're bringing prisoners in off the streets. They haven't stopped. They haven't stopped taking people to prison. See, the federal prison, they go through the same airports as Memphis. They go through the same Atlanta Hartfield. They don't tell you that. Some of these same guards, these same people that work at the airports where these federal prisons come through, we go through those same airports, man. It's called Con Air. The feds fly their prisoners everywhere. So these people are going through some of these different airports, and they're not telling the public. But then these officers who handle these U.S. Marshals who handle these prisons, they're coming in contact with different people coming from the street. And so these people are, hey, April, these people are being exposed to the coronavirus, and they're just taking it all over the world, man. So it's a wildfire that's burning. It's like a smoldering fire that nobody tells anybody about. You know what I mean? And so me having been in federal prison, like when the SARS came through, they were still moving us. We had to go to Oklahoma. They didn't tell us, they didn't quarantine anybody there. Man, they don't care. It's like cattle. They're going to run you through the turnstile, strip you out, put you in some of them same clothes, and put you in with somebody. They're not going to tell you, how you doing? They're going to put you in the same thing with somebody who may have had coronavirus or whatever. And you're not going to get any Lysol. What is that? Man, that's true. And that's true. And you think about this, man. You think about this. African Americans are the smallest population in the United States. Yet we make up the biggest prison population. And another 1 in 3 black males would go to prison. That means if you have 3 boys at home, the government is saying that one of your sons is going to go to prison. You know what I mean? And so the thing is, you have to be mindful of that. And another thing that you don't understand, that black women are the fastest growing prison population. Man, did you hear me? Did you hear me? Black women are the fastest growing prison population. And so it's designed to keep us trapped into this cycle of poverty. That's why, when I go over to Coldwater to meet with the Black Liberation Movement, it's to liberate my mind, because I've been subconsciously shackled through incarceration and through some of these people who don't want to have anything better than what they have all their lives. They rather walk around and die without leaving a legacy for their children. And we got to stop that as black people, man. We got to, like right now, people are running around looking for water. They got alkaline water right over there in Coldwater that they'll deliver over here and ship anywhere in the United States. Look it up, Black Liberation Movement, Coldwater, Mississippi. Crystal Denise and Patrick Alexander. So we got to support black businesses. We got to speak up for those who can't speak for themselves. That's why the prison ministry, that's why I work with, it's a guy here, man, named Dr. Donald Evans. He's right here in Mississippi. The people in Mount Bayou won't embrace him because he's speaking at a level that they can't even hear on. His voice is like at a higher plane. So that's why if we're not in tune with God's mission for our lives, or in tune with the people that left the legacy behind, then we can't begin to come together as a people to get together for movements such as this, to help free our people who are inside. Because we're running around scattered, man. We're running around scattered out here in the streets. And so we're clueless about what's going on inside. So we have to put our thoughts in harmony with each other. Listen to what our elders said. That's why you got to know your history. If you don't know your history, man, there's no way that you can begin to prepare for your present, live in the present day successfully, and to prepare for your future. So we as a people have to bring our thoughts together to find out how we can first help ourselves and be safe during this crisis or pandemic that we're going through, and think about those who can't help themselves, the incarcerated population, both state and federal, and we got to do something about it, man. Get on the phones, call somebody, help them, check on them. You know what I mean? Hold people accountable. Yep. So one of the things that that I'm doing here in Mississippi, I meet with the Black Liberation Movement over in Coldwater. That's blackliberation.com. So go and look it up. Also look up NAFRA. These are some of the people who are on the right mission, who want to help. They want to help black people help themselves. That's the first thing. I'm not saying that mass incarceration is just a black problem. I mean, it's a world problem. We house more people in prison than, hey nephew, we house more people in prison than anywhere else in the world. And we're the most powerful nation. Man, I'm talking about, we got people in prison first time who never been in trouble before. I was a first time offender, had never been in trouble before. You know what I mean? And had got out of the game when I became incarcerated. And so going back is not an option for me. But leaving those behind without fighting for them is not an option for me. One of the things Brother Patrick always say, that if you still got, and some of our ancestors, if you still got air in your lungs, that then there's no way you shouldn't be speaking up for righteousness and speaking out against injustice. I thank you, Mr. Odermatt, for giving me the platform to speak. And one of the things that I learned in prison too, I worked in Unicor, and I had access to a lot of financial information of the federal government. The federal government spends $36,500 a year per inmate to house them. That's one of the things. So you think about this. All the people, why are so many CCAs popping up in your town? And they're sending prisoners from California, Nevada to your town, here in Mississippi, Georgia, and all these co-op prisoners, because it's big business. It's big business, man. They're contracting souls. You know what I mean? Once you're in a prison, then you become a commodity. Our souls are the most valuable commodity that keep this country running. They're the one. That's the thing. Why do you think laws that they slip in, legislative laws to keep us in prison, or they don't want us? You got so many people, man, who are in prison that could be doing things in society that they're just spending money on it. You should figure 200,000 times $36,500 a year. That's not even counting the cost it takes to move them from prison to prison. Somewhere in America, they're building a federal prison right now today as we speak. Somewhere in America, some prison has at least 10 people who are infected with coronavirus. Apples and oranges, you said don't make sense. Somewhere in America, somebody is getting ready to get out of federal prison that's been exposed to, just like Butner right now, with that officer going in. Before the week is out, that same officer, if he was in contact with one of those people inside of Butner, he will have been in contact with every spot, every place that person had been. So we're talking about 2,300 inmates within a 14-day incubation period. Those 2,300 people got loved ones that once this is over or later on, that they're going to come in contact with other people. Because the virus they don't tell you that the virus can lie dormant inside of you for 10 to 14 days without you even knowing. And some people are carriers that don't get sick. But if you have any questions for me, man, tune in. Send them to me. DM them. But all in all, man, Romans 8:28. All things work for the good of those who love God and to those who are called according to his purpose. Man, stay prayed up, stay safe, and don't forget about those people who are behind the wall. First of all, don't forget about yourself. You got to pray for yourself. I'm always reminded by someone who loves me and someone I love is that in order for me to help everybody else, I got to first take care of myself. I'm listening. It's hard. It's hard because I want to help everybody. But the thing is, I got to take care of me first. And it's been a struggle to get on my feet, but with the love of family and people who love me, I've been maintaining. And every day I'm reminded that I'm on God's course for me. So backsliding is not an option for me. You know what I mean? Hey, Gloria Woods, author. Thank you. But anyway, take care, man. And stop complaining about your kids being at home. You know what I mean? Do that. So just please, please, man. So like I said, if you have any questions for me or whatever, man, just on that post I made today, just like y'all shared the vows post, please share that post, man. We got to get that post halfway around the world. How you know that it's going to come all the way back against mass incarceration? And those are just some of the people I know. There are a lot more people I know that needed fighting for. And I have to get them out one at a time, so at a time, or whatever. If you got their names or anything, we're going to create T-shirts where we can fight mass incarceration at its high level. But we're going to use social media, man, to deal with this monster. Yeah, it's a monster. It's a growing monster in our country. Mass incarceration. It's worse. It's worse than the coronavirus. How so? Because people are dying in prison that they never tell you about. And it's an experimental base that different pharmaceutical companies use to test out their new drug. Meaning that right now, it's going to be mandatory. I guarantee you. They're not going to tell you this, but it's going to be mandatory that somewhere at one prison, they're going to always take one prison and use a male prison and a female prison, that they introduce a new vaccine. If you don't want to be transferred, you got to take this vaccine. That's mandatory. What you going to do? You going to tell them no in prison? They're going to give you the option. You either take it or we're going to transfer you. Then when they transfer you, they're going to put you on decent therapy. You're not going to have a say-so in where you want to go. The 500-mile rule is out the window then if you don't take the virus. So a lot of guys, they're content with being where they are. They're going to want to stay where they're at. I made the biggest mistake in Yazoo in 2008 taking the flu vaccine. When they first came out with the swine flu, they gave it, man, that vaccine almost killed me. So from then on, I never took any vaccine or any shots from them inside because it was experimental based. And so many people at Yazoo got sick when they brought that new vaccine on that it was ridiculous. Half of them they had to ship out to medical units and stuff like that. I'm glad that my immune system was strong enough to survive. But somewhere in federal prison before, they let them up off lockdown, the mandatory lockdown that they're on right now. If you don't believe me, Google it. Federal prison on lockdown. Every federal prison in the United States right now is on lockdown. Every one. Mandatory. If anybody has visited a federal prison in the last 2 weeks, let me know. Because it's a lie. But they're putting their heads together to see what they're going to introduce, the new vaccine that they're going to test somewhere in federal prison. You can believe that. You can take that to the bank. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like hypocrisy. I guarantee you, when you hear about it, and some of your loved ones tell you about it, just say that SIP told you. Yeah. Man, pray for me, and I'll pray for you. God bless you. Take care.